true either.
Yeah, no, and that's why the year is important too. That's why I was mentioning in that documentary,
Yes.
and it's always important because that's what's allowing people to do all type of appropriation and co-opting and you know this corruption of the narrative and it's definitely pivotal. Like even with the museum and like this this I mean, all right, this is gonna be an interesting place to have this conversation. But well, first of all, the just calling you were touching on before too, right? Just calling hip hop a culture is de facto discrediting Black American culture. You know, certainly regional Black American culture. New York City Black American cultures. Like you're taking them out of that like creation and inventor space just by calling it that. It's not even accurate or proper. And that's where again, well, a lot of these problems with the year come into play and who created it and who started it. Because now you see that 77, and we're gonna get into it right now. And you see when you see that pardon us up, when you see that 73, and then you got guys like Fat Joe um doing the museum, defending Bambaataa low key or high key, and saying, yeah, Puerto Ricans are half, like or rather saying Puerto Ricans, were right there, with inventing hip hop with black folks in 73. It starts to be a problem, and this is where you can illustrate exactly what happens. You know what I'm saying? Because for him to say that now, the Bronx is half Spanish now, you know, at least, maybe more, 50, 60% Spanish, Back then, it wasn't anything like that. And they're not there in the beginnings, the way they describe it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So when he says that in modern times, and this is what I'm saying, where it ties into the corruption, and he's defending Bambaataa, and as a Puerto Rican New Yorker, from the Bronx, for a museum that's going to be in the Bronx, that's going to benefit the Bronx, that's half that's half Spanish now. You know what I'm saying? The implication is, oh, that we created it half and half. You know what I'm saying? It was half Puerto Ricans and half Black Americans that created and invented hip hop and was doing it for the beginning years. Truth be told, when you really start dealing with that 77 year and thinking about it, when lab folks came into the cipher, it was with dancing, right? It was through the b-boards. I was originally only black folks. You know what I'm saying? For that first 4-5 years from 72, because you really can say 72 with the dancing at least, right? So for that 72, because the dancing is before hip hop even, right? But so from 72, or b-boying rather, from 72 to 77, it was black Americans doing the dancing, you know. And I'm not saying that might have been a couple of people around, Spanish folks around, you know what I mean? But not enough to lend, creative license to, or like credit for the culture, you know. The culture goes to black Americans from New York, you know. Um, so yeah, shit like that gets real sticky with the year because it's actually Black Americans that was doing the b-boying, and then they kind of left it alone in 76 and 77. Mind you, and this is why I'm saying, like, it shouldn't be no way, like nobody needs to feel no type of way. Spanish folks was inventing their own shit in the Bronx at the same time. Got their own genre, salsa. You know what I'm saying? And they was busy with that. You know what I mean? And that's why it melded together well slightly after, because the salsa is also a dance orientated. So they already had their 1, 2, 3, 4 steps going on, when they're coming into the hip hop cipher, So I'm just saying that is why certain things with the year are very pivotal, because it's where the things start being co-opted, and things like, you get things like hip hop culture. Everybody can join. Well, I guess everybody started it too then, right? You know what I'm saying? And you start going down that road, Hip hop culture is these 5 elements. Meanwhile, some of these elements are not even Black American inventions, or Latin American inventions. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Stuff like that is very dangerous, because it opens things up to the corruption,
Mm-hmm.
and the changing of the narrative is dangerous, and we need to use this opportunity, to get the narrative straight,